Kia welcome. I think it's day 11 today. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's day 11 and there's been daylight saving. And so here I am for another practice. I'm feeling somewhat slow today, and I think that will be evident in the practice. Always knowing that you're welcome to practice in whatever way you like, and if you want to move into resting form, a resting form that works for you at any time, you're welcome to do that. I'm thinking today that I might start standing. And I suppose I do want to say that I always appreciate feedback. I've had some requests for different kinds of practices which I've tried to accommodate, and feedback's always useful. So if there's something in particular you like, I will try to accommodate that. Feedback can be sent via email or through this page. So if you like finding your way to standing, you're welcome to be seated or standing or lying on the ground. Starting with a standing, moving to seated, and a resting time. Practice probably about 40 minutes. If you like, bringing your awareness to notice where you are in your space, in your bubble. Possibly taking a breath. Maybe looking around. And breathing. Then if you like, bringing your awareness to notice where you make contact with the ground. And that could be by moving your weight to your toes, to your heels. Maybe shifting your weight forward and back. Maybe moving your weight. You could do it with one foot or both feet together. Maybe shifting your weight from your heels to your toes and breathing. Perhaps finding your way to your expression of standing moana, and if you like, bringing your torso over your ankles or your shoulders over your seat. Maybe bringing your head to balance on your shoulders and breathing. If you like, bringing your awareness to notice movement in your head and neck. So one option could be to bring your chin to your shoulder and moving your chin horizontally to your other shoulder. And maybe moving your chin horizontally. Another choice could be lifting and lowering your chin. Maybe lifting your chin and looking up. If you like, lowering your chin and looking down. Perhaps lifting and lowering. Maybe moving your chin. So if you're exploring movement in your head and neck, there is a possibility you might begin to feel sensation in your neck. And do know it's only a possibility. It's quite normal not to feel sensation. In your own time, maybe guiding yourself back to your expression of standing or seated mountain. And if you like, moving your arms. So how you move your arms is up to you. This is your practice. You get to choose. Maybe lifting your arms to touch over your head. If You like bringing your arms to your side, perhaps lifting and lowering. You might feel sensation, possibly in your shoulders, maybe in your arms. Once again, maybe not at all. Then in your own time, finding your way back to your expression of standing mountain, standing moanga, and breathing. Maybe standing tall, perhaps bringing your head to balance on your shoulders, and maybe taking a breath. Perhaps noticing that your breath is with you. Maybe noticing that you're breathing. Then if you like, perhaps moving to explore leaning forward. So one option could be to bring your hands to your knees or your upper leg. Maybe leaning forward, perhaps tucking your chin. Another option could be to bring your elbows to your knees, possibly tucking your chin and breathing. Always knowing you're welcome to move in the form. If you're seated, what you may like to do is bring your hands to your knees, maybe tucking your chin and leaning forward, or possibly, if it's available, maybe bringing your hands further down towards your feet and breathing. So if you're leaning forward, you're welcome to move in and out of your form at any time. So possibly moving in and out of your form at any time. So maybe leaning forward. Finding your way to upright in your own time. And if you like, moving to explore crossing your elbows, maybe bringing your hands to your shoulders. Another choice could be to bring your hands in contact with each other, so maybe making one hand in contact with your other hand and breathing. If you're interested, you could experiment with moving your chin. That's a choice, and sometimes you can check how things feel as to knowing if they're useful for us. So if you like, you could also move your chin. At any time, you're welcome to switch, maybe crossing your arms in the opposite direction, perhaps bringing your hands to your shoulders and breathing. You might feel the sensation of your hands making contact with your shoulder. You're bringing your hands together. You may feel the sensation of one hand making contact with your other hand. And in your own time, maybe giving your hands a bit of a shake, perhaps loosening your arms. If you like, bringing your hands into your line of vision, and maybe moving your hands, like opening and closing your fingers. If you like, looking at your hands moving. Perhaps bringing your hands together. Maybe feeling one hand making contact with your other hand. Then if you like, finding your way back to upright, your expression of seated or standing mountain, standing moanga. And if you like, moving to explore a balancing form. So if you're seated, What you may like to do is perhaps bring your hands to your knees, possibly pressing one foot into the ground and maybe lifting your other foot. You may feel muscles engaging under your hands. That's a possibility. So perhaps pressing one foot into the ground, maybe lifting your other foot. If you're standing, you might like to notice where you place your feet, maybe standing tall, and if you like, shifting your weight into one of your legs and maybe lifting your heel off the ground, perhaps lifting your foot, always knowing somewhere there. You're welcome to use some support. Support is welcome. So maybe lifting and lowering your foot, or perhaps bringing the sole of your foot to the side of your leg. So if you are standing on one foot or pressing one foot into the ground, you might feel sensation in that leg. You might notice that you're breathing. Then in your own time, maybe shifting your weight to your other foot. So maybe shifting your weight to your other foot, perhaps lifting your heel off the ground. Maybe lifting your foot, perhaps bringing the sole of your foot to the side of your leg. And breathing. You might notice that your breath is always with you. It ebbs and flows, comes and goes, and it's always there. So perhaps noticing your breath is with you, and guiding yourself back to both feet on the ground. Perhaps bringing your awareness to notice where you make contact with the ground. Maybe lifting and lowering your feet. Then if you wanted to explore Warrior One, if you're standing, maybe moving to the front of your mat. If you like, stepping back with one of your feet. How much you step back is up to you. You might be moving, you might be still. It's up to you. Arranging your arms in a way that's useful for you, maybe at your side, perhaps out in front, possibly raised. And if you like, perhaps holding this form for the count of 4. 5, 4. Try to count backwards. 2. Rua. Tahi. The challenge for my brain. And moving back to both feet together in your own time. If you like, exploring this on your other side. If you're seated on a chair, what you may like to do is move to the side of your chair, perhaps extending one foot behind you, maybe bringing your hands to your side, and possibly raising your hands. So if you are standing, maybe stepping back, perhaps holding for the count of 4, 5, 12, Rua, Tahi, and in your own time, stepping back to both feet together. If you're interested in exploring Warrior 2, maybe bringing your toes to the long edge of your mat, perhaps extending your arms. If you like, turning one foot to face the short edge of your mat. And breathing. It's available, maybe bringing your elbow to your forward facing leg and possibly one arm over your head. If you're seated, what you may like to do is step your feet apart, possibly turning one foot out from your torso, maybe raising your arms, and if you like, bringing your elbow to your forward facing knee and possibly leaning forward. So maybe exploring your expression of warrior two and breathing in your own time, perhaps switching, maybe turning your foot in the opposite direction, maybe moving, arranging your arms in a way that's useful for you, and breathing. Finding your way to upright in your own time. Finding your way to your expression of standing or seated mountain, warrior, and breathing. From here, if you want to experiment with bending your knees, one way could be to bring your hand around your knee and bring your knee towards your torso. Or maybe both knees towards your torso. So if you're seated, maybe bring your knees to your torso. If you're standing, perhaps using a chair to bend your knees, maybe experimenting with bending your knees. Knowing how much you bend, how you bend your knees is up to you. If it's available to you, maybe exploring a squat, so perhaps bending your knees, possibly bringing your hands to your mat and breathing. So if you like, being guided by your body, perhaps finding your way to a seated form, maybe on your chair, perhaps on your mat, in your own time. Always knowing you're welcome to move in and out of the form. And finding your way to seated in your own time. So there's a few options for being seated. Now one could be sitting on a cushion or maybe a book if you haven't got a book. So one option could be just sitting back on your ankles and perhaps offering some support, sitting on a block or a cushion and breathing. Another option could be cross-legged. You get to sit in whatever way works for you. Possibly cross-legged. I always switch the way I cross my legs because I keep wanting to do it the same way. And if you like, exploring a twist. So you may like to sit up tall and perhaps turning your chin to your shoulder and maybe bringing your hand, so maybe turning your chin to your left shoulder, perhaps bringing your hand to your left knee and maybe using your hand behind you for your support, if you like sitting up tall. If it's available, maybe rotating your spine, maybe twisting and breathing. Possibly feeling sensation through your abdomen, maybe your torso, knowing that it's very normal not to feel sensation. In your own time, maybe moving back to neutral, perhaps turning your chin towards your right shoulder, your left hand to your right knee, maybe one hand behind you and sitting up tall. If it's available, maybe rotating your spine and breathing. So you're welcome to switch at any time. Maybe switching from one side to your other side. Perhaps switching from your left to your right. Being guided by your body. Maybe switching. Then if you like, finding your way back to your neutral. Perhaps finding your expression of seated moana. Perhaps taking a moment in this form, maybe noticing where you make contact with the ground, or perhaps noticing that you're breathing, that your breath is always with you. Ebbs and flows, comes and goes, it's always there. So next, if you would like, maybe moving to explore boat. So you might like to have a support for your spine with a rug or a cushion under your seat. Maybe bringing your heels to the ground, perhaps raising your arms. So this may be your expression of boat. I'm not sure I can do this today. Maybe lifting your feet off the ground. Maybe lifting, I need to come off that blanket. Maybe lifting, no, my body's not going to do it today. So maybe this is your boat. Maybe this is your boat. Maybe lifting and lowering. Possibly feeling sensation in your abdomen, if you like, supporting your legs with your hands and breathing. Maybe exploring your expression of boat. And guiding yourself back to your neutral. And perhaps moving into a forward fold. So you may have your legs crossed or feet together, perhaps legs extended. Today I'm going to have my feet together. You might like to lean forward, maybe tucking your chin, bring your hands to your knees, to the mat, or further down, maybe towards your feet, and breathing. So if you are folding forward at any time, you can move to upright or maybe leaning back. This is your choice. It's your practice. So possibly leaning forward, maybe leaning back and breathing. Like moving in and out of your form. And in your own time, finding your way back to your upright. And if you like, moving to explore some forms on your abdomen. If you're seated on your chair, maybe extending your legs, perhaps leaning back, maybe raising your arms, or perhaps bending your elbows and raising your arms, maybe lifting and lowering. If you're on your abdomen, you may like to bring your elbows under your shoulders and perhaps your hands resting on the ground, what we sometimes call seal form. You could choose where you want to look, up or down, straight ahead. There is a possibility you might feel some sensation in your abdomen where you make contact with the ground, although this is just a possibility. If it's of interest to you, you may like to bring your hands flat on the ground and maybe lifting your torso. So that's a choice, maybe lifting your torso. And at any time, you may like to bring your forehead to rest on your hands. Perhaps noticing that your breath is with you. Maybe noticing where you make contact with the ground, perhaps moving, maybe looking. And if you're interested, maybe experimenting with lifting and lowering your arms, maybe lifting and lowering your legs. So perhaps extending your arms, maybe lifting and lowering. If you're interested in lifting and lowering your legs, that's another option. Or possibly lifting and lowering both your leg and your arm. And you might feel some sensation in your abdomen. Do know it's quite normal to feel sensation in other places. You don't have to feel sensation where I say. So if you like lifting and lowering your leg, perhaps lifting and lowering your arm, and breathing. Maybe lifting and lowering your leg and arm. Then if you like, using your hands to press into the ground and maybe moving your torso back to your ankles, perhaps resting your forehead on your hands. If you're on your chair, maybe bringing your elbows to your knees, perhaps resting your forehead in your hands and breathing. Perhaps taking some time in what we sometimes call child form, always knowing you're welcome to move in the form. You're welcome to move out of the form at any time. Maybe bringing your awareness to notice that you're breathing. And if you like, moving onto your back to explore some forms on your back. You're seated in a chair, maybe exploring moving your knees, maybe moving together or individually. So perhaps finding a way to move your knees. If you're on your back, what you may like to do is bring your feet close to your torso, maybe flat on the ground, possibly extending your arms. It's a choice. If you like, dropping your knees to your side, perhaps looking in the opposite direction. And in your own time, maybe moving your knees through midline, perhaps bringing your knees to rest on your other side. So maybe bringing your knees to rest on your other side. And breathing. Anytime, you're welcome to move your knees through midline, maybe resting on your other side. Another option could be to lift your feet off the ground, perhaps bringing your hands around your knees and moving your knees. Maybe side to side, possibly forward and back. So if you like, moving your knees. And if you are moving your knees, you might notice a change in pressure where you make contact with the ground or surface beneath you. So maybe noticing a change in pressure where you make contact with the ground. Then if you like, last form for today is lifting and lowering your leg or legs, or lifting and lowering your arms, or both. So maybe lifting and lowering your leg and arm, or perhaps lifting and lowering your leg, maybe lifting and lowering your arm. So perhaps lifting and lowering. If you like, you could coordinate your breathing with your movement, maybe breathing in as you move in one direction and perhaps breathing out as you move in another direction. So maybe breathing and moving. If you like, lifting and lowering your leg, maybe lifting and lowering both arm and leg. Choice is yours. And then in your own time, finding your way back to neutral. And perhaps finding a resting form that's useful for you. So you might like to use a rug or a cushion, maybe a cushion under your knees. Resting form could be seated, it could be on your side. The resting form is a form in which your body doesn't have to use your muscles. So that could be on your back, your side, could be sitting up, could be legs up the wall, or legs on a chair, up to you. So when you're ready, maybe taking a breath and perhaps bringing your awareness to notice where you make contact with the ground. As your breath comes again, just bringing your awareness to notice the support of the surface beneath you. If you're interested, I'm going to offer a brief body scan exercise. As always, you're welcome to tune my voice out. If you want to move, that's okay. If you want to take your mind to the part I name, or possibly your hand, or maybe moving that part, it's up to you. So finding your resting form, and if you like, bringing your awareness to notice sensation at your eyebrow center. Sensation in your jaw, maybe moving your jaw. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in the whole of your right arm. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in the whole of your left arm. Sensation in your neck. Sensation at your heart center, aroha. Sensation in your abdomen. Sensation in the whole of your right leg. Sensation in the whole of your left leg. Sensation in your abdomen. Sensation in your heart center. Sensation in your neck. Sensation in your jaw. Sensation at the tip of your nose. Sensation at your eyebrow center. Sensation in the whole of your body. Sensation in your entire body. Sensation in the whole of your body all together. I'm going to offer some silence. Then I'll ring the chime just once because I noticed how loud it was on the recording. And then an opportunity for you to close your practice. So some silence. So do know there's no hurry to move. When you do want to move, maybe wriggling your fingers and toes, possibly moving to rest on your side for a short time. If you'd like, maybe taking a moment to acknowledge your practice. Perhaps it was to nurture yourself, possibly to connect with yourself. Maybe something else. So if you'd like, taking a moment to acknowledge your practice to yourself. So thank you for practicing with me. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have a regular practice with other people. Maintains my focus. So thank you. I trust you're all well today. It's sunny and windy, but I trust that you're all well in your bubble, taking care of you and your loved ones. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow, 12 midday. Ka kite ara.